Hey, Weekend Hustlers, welcome back to the show. I'm Pavlov.
And I'm Nikita, and today we're diving deep.
Ooh, a deep dive.
Into a report.
That has
everyone in the AI world buzzing. It's called The Future of AI Research.
And this isn't just like some random think tank's wish list.
No.
This report comes straight from a AAAI presidential panel.
Yeah, so that means it's like straight from the minds of some of the top experts in AI out there.
Absolutely.
They did not hold back.
Yeah, they covered everything.
They covered everything from like how AI reasons to whether we can actually trust it, the role of hardware,
Even AI for social good and
so much more.
a whole lot more.
Yeah.
But I think before we get lost in the weeds, let's zoom in on one of the most intriguing takeaways.
Okay, so one of the big ones is this idea
that we might need to rely.
That we might need like a 50% reliance on symbolic AI.
That's like
to really achieve human level reasoning.
That's the rule-based AI, right?
Yes, exactly. The rule-based kind.
To actually reach human level.
And that's a pretty big challenge.
Yeah, a big challenge to the current hype.
To all the hype around just machine learning.
All this machine learning.
Right.
So how does this report actually define reasoning?
Well, the report kicks off by defining reasoning as like a core element of intelligence.
Okay.
And it makes a distinction between two types. So formal reasoning, which is all about guarantees and proofs.
Okay, like mathematics.
Like in mathematics, right.
Okay.
And then there's plausible reasoning, which is more like how we humans think.
Okay, like making educated guesses?
Like we're making these educated guesses based on what we know and based on our experience.
Okay, so like almost like...
But for AI,
shit.
it's a lot trickier for AI to grasp.
Yeah, I mean, I remember back in school, those SAT solvers.
Right, SATs.
We all struggled with those.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah, like those.
But it turns out they're used for a lot more than just torturing students.
Right. Exactly. And that's the thing. They're being used for verifying software and hardware, making sure that communication protocols are safe.
Oh, wow.
They're even being used to design proteins.
Proteins.
I know, this is like mind-blowing stuff.
Wow.
And this is all like formal reasoning.
Okay, so that's formal reasoning.
Yeah.
So what about...
where you have like clear-cut answers?
Yeah, so plausible reasoning.
Plausible reasoning is where things get a little bit...
Yeah, it's like where it gets really...
trickier.
Like, I see.
Yeah. So the report points out that early AI research focused on both types, but then it kind of shifted more towards the formal reasoning because
that was more practical.
It had more like short-term practical application.
Made sense at the time.
Yeah.
But it also makes you wonder, can we really achieve human-level intelligence?
Without that plausible reasoning.
Yeah, without mastering that messy...
Right, the messy...
real-world thinking.
And that's where...
And so that's where those large reasoning models are coming in.
That's where those large reasoning models come in.
Trying to like bring those guarantees back into it.
Yeah, they're trying to bring those guarantees back into it.
Especially with LLMs.
Especially with the rise of LLMs, which are large language models.
And that kind of brings us to another huge topic that the report tackles. Factuality and trustworthiness.
Yeah, this is a big one.
I mean, we all know
these
models can be very impressive.
Oh, they're incredible.
But they also tend to hallucinate, right?
They do have a tendency to hallucinate.
Just make things up that sound plausible.
They'll just make stuff up.
But are completely wrong.
Yeah, that sounds plausible, but it's totally wrong.
So why does this happen?
So the report kind of digs into this because unlike traditional AI, where you're trying to avoid garbage in, garbage out, LLMs work differently.
Okay.
They rely on this thing called reconstructive memory.
Reconstructive memory.
So it's kind of like...
So instead of just retrieving information...
Instead of retrieving, they're kind of piecing it together from what they've learned. And that's where things can go a little bit.
Get a little mixed up.
Yeah.
Lead to those errors.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're trying to recall a story someone told you. You might get the main points, right?
Yeah, you might get the gist of it.
But some of the details might be jumbled.
Right. Some of the details get mixed up.
And when it comes to AI...
those mix-ups can have some serious consequences.
Absolutely.
Right.
So how do we make these AI systems more reliable? How do we address this?
So the report highlights a few interesting trends.
Okay.
One of them is fine-tuning LLMs.
Fine-tuning?
Yeah. So basically, you're training it on specific data.
Oh.
So for example, if you have an LLM that's focused on medicine...
You train it on medical text.
You're only going to train it on medical text.
So it becomes more of a specialist.
Exactly. Instead of being a jack of all trades, it becomes a specialist in a particular field.
Master of one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another approach that they talk about is using reinforcement learning.
Reinforcement learning.
So that's where humans provide feedback to the model.
Okay.
And you're kind of rewarding it for accurate outputs.
So almost like training a dog.
Almost like training a dog.
But instead of treats, it gets data.
Yeah, instead of treats, you're giving it data and you're kind of penalizing it for errors.
And penalizing it for making mistakes.
Right. But there's a catch.
Okay, there's always a catch.
It takes a massive amount of human feedback.
Oh, I see.
To really train these models well.
To get them where they need to be.
Right. Which then brings us to...
So you need an army of human evaluators.
You need an army of human evaluators.
To keep these AI in check.
And this is where we run into this issue of the cost bottleneck.
The cost bottleneck.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Because you need all these humans.
You need so many humans to really train this thing well.
So what are researchers looking into to address that?
So now research is focusing on trying to reduce our reliance on human input. So one of the ideas is this thing called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG.
Retrieval augmented generation.
RAG.
RAG. Okay.
Yeah,
It's almost like giving the AI a research assistant.
It's like giving the AI a research assistant.
Instead of having it pull everything from its memory.
Right. Instead of generating everything from its own memory.
It can search for relevant information.
It can actually go out and search for relevant information and use that to inform the outputs.
Oh, so it's combining traditional search with generative AI.
It is, yeah.
That's interesting.
It's a cool approach.
But then how do we ensure the quality of that information?
That's the challenge, right?
Yeah, we don't want it citing conspiracy theories as facts.
We don't want it citing conspiracy theories as facts.
Right.
So the report talks about different techniques that are being explored. One is using tools for fact-checking. So like calculators or specialized databases, and even prompting the AI to kind of think step by step.
Like double checking its work.
Yeah, like almost double checking its work.
It's like we're teaching it critical thinking skills.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that always fascinates me.
I know, this is a fun one.
AI agents.
AI agents.
That sounds so...
It's very sci-fi, right?
Sci-fi, yeah.
Yeah.
So what exactly are AI agents?
So agentic AI, it refers to these autonomous agents that are powered by AI.
AI powered.
That can interact with the world and make decisions.
Make decisions on their own.
Yeah, like on their own.
So like those bots that we encounter online.
Kind of like that.
But potentially much more capable.
Right, but potentially much more capable.
And this
This
has been around for a while.
Yeah, it's been around.
The report actually points out that it's been around since like the 90s.
Oh, wow.
And research back then focused on things like communication languages for these agents and how they would cooperate
with each other.
With each other, yeah.
So it's almost like creating a whole society.
A whole society of AI entities.
Yeah.
But why haven't we seen this agent revolution yet?
Well, the report hints at a few reasons.
Okay.
You know, early applications were kind of limited to things like security games or automated trading systems.
Okay.
But the real world...
That's a lot messier.
The real world is so complex.
Yeah.
And interacting with it proved to be a major hurdle.
But with LLMs...
Things
seem to be changing.
Things are definitely changing.
This combination of LLMs and agents...
The combination
it
opens up a whole new world.
A whole new...
Yeah.
Realm of possibilities.
Realm of possibilities. We're talking about AI that can automate complex tasks, that can plan ahead, and can even problem solve.
Problem solve, yeah.
In real time.
In real time, wow.
It's crazy.
That is a game changer.
It's a game changer.
But with all this talk of super powerful AI, how do we even know
that's doing what it's supposed to?
Yeah, if these systems are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
That brings us to the topic of AI evaluation.
AI evaluation.
Which the report dedicates an entire chapter to.
That's critical, right?
It's critical. It's crucial.
Because as AI becomes more complex,
the old ways of testing,
the traditional methods,
the traditional testing methods just can't keep up.
Yeah.
Right? You can't test every possible scenario.
Especially with systems that are constantly learning.
Especially with systems that are constantly learning and adapting.
Yeah, they're always adapting and evolving.
Right.
So what's the solution?
Well, the report highlights a shift in thinking.
Okay.
It's not just about evaluating individual algorithms in isolation. It's about looking at these entire AI systems and their impact in the real world.
Their real world impact.
Right.
Okay.
So this means continuous monitoring.
Continuous monitoring.
Especially for systems that are evolving their behavior over time.
So it's like moving from a one-time exam to
continuous assessment. You're always keeping an eye on how these systems are performing.
Always keeping an eye on it.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just technical performance, right?
Goes beyond just technical performance. The report emphasizes the need to assess usability, transparency, and whether the AI is actually improving human system performance.
So it's not about replacing humans entirely.
It's not about replacing humans.
It's about creating these systems that work alongside us.
Working alongside us.
Helping us make better decisions.
Right.
Okay.
AI is augmenting human capabilities.
Augmenting our capabilities. Right. But of course, with all this power comes responsibility.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We can't ignore this big question.
The big question looming in the background.
Of ethics.
Ethics and safety.
And safety.
Right. This is the elephant in the room.
How do we ensure that this is being developed responsibly?
Yeah, how do we ensure that AI is being developed responsibly?
Both in terms of
preventing harm.
Yeah, preventing harm.
But also upholding ethical standards.
And upholding ethical standards.
Right.
So that's the big challenge.
What's the big question?
So what does the report say about that?
So the report tackles this head on.
Okay.
And the central concern is how to develop AI that aligns with human values. Mm-hmm. And it draws a distinction between safety, which is focused on preventing harm, like a self-driving car causing an accident, for example.
Right.
And ethics.
Okay.
Which addresses broader concerns.
Broader societal
fair bias, avoiding manipulation.
Right. So it's like a safe AI might avoid running over pedestrians.
Right.
While an ethical AI would consider the broader impact of its actions.
The broader social impact.
Yeah, the social impact of what it's doing.
Right.
And this isn't a new conversation, right?
No, and the report actually points out that these concerns about AI ethics and safety are not new.
Like, people have been thinking about this for a while.
People have been thinking about this for a long time.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that.
Oh, yeah.
That letter that a bunch of researchers signed.
Pause giant AI experiments.
Yeah, pause giant AI experiments back in 2023.
Yeah.
They were really concerned about AI potentially getting out of control.
Escaping human control.
Yeah.
Right.
So while some of those fears might seem far-fetched,
they might seem far-fetched to some people.
The report really emphasizes this need.
A report emphasizes the need for ongoing research into aligning AI actions with human values.
So how do we make sure that AI...
How do we make sure...
benefits humanity as a whole?
It benefits humanity as a whole.
And not just a select few.
And not just a select few.
Wow.
Right.
This is heavy stuff.
It's heavy stuff.
And we've only scratched the surface of this report.
We've only just begun.
There's so much more to unpack.
So much more to unpack.
But I think this is a good place to pause.
To take a breather?
Take a breather?
Yeah.
And we'll come back and
we'll delve into
some more...
even more mind-blowing concepts.
Yeah, like embodied AI.
Embodied AI, the relationship between AI and cognitive science, and that crucial role of hardware in shaping AI's future.
So this is some serious
stuff.
Thought-provoking stuff.
Yeah.
Weekend hustlers.
Don't miss the rest of this conversation.
Yeah, don't miss the rest of this conversation.
We'll be back soon to continue our deep dive into the future of AI research.
And be sure to subscribe.
Make sure to subscribe
to Weekend Hustlers on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So you don't miss part 2.
You don't want to miss it.
See you soon.
See ya.
Welcome back, Weekend Hustlers. We're picking up right where we left off on our deep dive into the Play AI's Future of AI Research Report.
Back for more.
More AI. Goodness.
We explored some pretty intense stuff.
Oh, yeah, like AI reasoning. Trustworthiness, even those AI agents.
But now we're going to step into a realm.
Ooh. What realm are we stepping into?
That feels almost like science fiction.
Hit me with it.
Embodied AI.
Embodied AI. Oh, this is where things get really interesting. Okay, so for those of us who maybe haven't encountered this term before.
Yeah.
What exactly is embodied AI?
So embodied AI is basically this idea that to achieve true intelligence, AI might actually need like a physical body, not just, exist in the digital realm.
So it's not just about thinking.
It's not just about thinking.
It's about interacting with the world.
It's about interacting with the world around us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So instead of just being like a brain in a jar.
It's about
having a body to experience the world firsthand.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And the report actually gives this really cool example. They talk about RoboCup, which is basically robot soccer.
Robot soccer!
I know, how fun does that sound?
That sounds amazing.
And it's also like a brilliant platform for developing embodied AI.
Okay.
Because you have these robot soccer players, they have to perceive the ball, make decisions about where to move, and then they have to actually execute those actions in real time.
Wow.
All while coordinating with their teammates.
I can barely keep track of myself on a soccer field.
Right.
Let alone coordinate with a bunch of robots.
It's definitely pushing the boundaries of AI, and one of the key takeaways from this research is the importance of common sense knowledge.
Common sense knowledge.
Something we humans take for granted.
Oh yeah, totally.
But is like incredibly hard to program into AI.
Yeah, like understanding that if you kick a ball, it's not going to disappear.
It's not going to magically disappear.
It's going to go somewhere.
Exactly. Things like gravity, inertia, cause and effect. These are all things that embodied AI needs to learn through like actual experience.
It makes you appreciate how much we learn just by existing in the world.
Right.
Bumping into things, figuring out how things work.
Just by being in the world.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that kind of leads us to another area of research that the report dives into, the relationship between AI and cognitive science.
Ooh, okay.
That's a fun one.
So are we trying to create AI that thinks like us?
That's the big question.
Or is it taking a completely different approach?
It's a little bit of both, actually. The report points out that AI and cognitive science kind of drifted apart over the years.
Okay.
But there's this growing movement to rebuild the bridges between them.
So they're realizing that they kind of need each other?
They're realizing they need each other.
Okay.
The idea is that AI can actually help us understand human cognition better.
Okay.
And vice versa, cognitive science can inform the development of like more advanced AI systems.
It's a two-way street.
It's a two-way street. It's a collaboration.
Okay.
And one of the key areas where these two fields can really benefit from each other is human-like learning and reasoning. So think about it. Humans, we are like incredibly efficient learners.
Yeah, we pick things up so quickly.
We can grasp new concepts from just a few examples, you know?
Yeah, I can learn a new word after hearing it once or twice.
Right. Yeah.
But a language model might need to process millions of sentences.
Millions of sentences to learn the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And the report highlights how current AI systems, they struggle when it comes to reasoning with incomplete or incorrect information, you know?
Yeah, we're much better at dealing with uncertainty.
We're better at dealing with uncertainty.
With the messiness of the world.
The messiness of the real world where things are not always black and white.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is where this idea of cognitive architectures comes in.
Cognitive architectures.
Yeah, so these are basically AI systems that are designed to mimic the structure and processes of the human mind.
So it's like we're trying to reverse engineer the brain.
Almost like we're trying to reverse engineer the brain to understand how we think and learn.
Build a digital version.
Yeah, build a digital version of our brains.
It's pretty ambitious.
It's a very ambitious goal, but the report suggests that this approach could be the key to developing AI that's not just good at, you know, specific tasks, but can actually think and learn like a human.
That is ambitious.
Yeah.
But all of this relies on hardware, right?
All of this relies on hardware.
And hardware has its limits.
And hardware has its limits.
So what does the report have to say about that?
So the report actually dives into this whole topic of hardware and AI, and it highlights how the history of AI is like deeply intertwined with hardware development.
Yeah, it's this dance between...
It's a dance
between the algorithms pushing the limits of the hardware and then the hardware enabling new breakthroughs in AI.
It's like this constant back and forth.
It's this constant back and forth.
Yeah.
And the report actually says that deep learning was enabled by hardware and its progress is limited by hardware. Which is a pretty, like, you know, stark reminder that without advancements in hardware,
we're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere.
So all these massive language models that we keep hearing about,
those massive language models,
they wouldn't even exist without.
They wouldn't exist without powerful GPUs and TPUs.
Yeah.
Right.
And training those things takes so much energy.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of energy. And the report goes into, you know, the challenges of large-scale model training, things like energy consumption, throughput limitations.
I've heard that training a single large language model can consume as much energy as a small town.
It's crazy how much energy it takes.
That's wild.
And it's not just about the energy used during training, right?
It's about
running these models.
running it.
Yeah. In the real world, it also demands a lot of power.
Okay.
So the report emphasizes that there needs to be more research into like energy efficient AI.
More energy efficient AI.
Yeah, both in terms of algorithms and hardware.
It's not just about making AI smarter.
It's not just about making it smarter.
It's about making it sustainable.
It's about making it more sustainable.
Okay.
Yeah.
And speaking of making things better.
Oh, yeah.
The report also focuses on
AI
for social good.
AI for social good. That's right.
It's not just about the technical stuff.
It's not all doom and gloom.
It's about using it.
AI can be a powerful tool
Yeah.
for addressing some of the world's most pressing challenges.
We've seen how it can be used to optimize energy grids,
Yeah, optimize energy grids,
develop personalized medicine,
even monitor deforestation in real time.
Yeah, the possibilities seem endless.
The possibilities are endless, but, the report also cautions against what they call techno-solutionism.
Techno-solutionism.
Yeah, this idea that...
Like technology can solve all our problems.
Yeah, technology alone can solve all our problems.
So it's not just about throwing AI at every problem.
It's not about just throwing AI at everything.
It's about understanding the social context. Using it thoughtfully.
And ethically. Right. And the report actually defines AI for social impact. They call it AI4SI.
AI4SI.
Yeah, it's a subfield that focuses on creating measurable societal benefit. Especially for, vulnerable and under-resourced communities.
So using AI to improve lives. Not just to make profits.
Not just for profit.
Or advance the technology itself.
Right. It's about the human impact.
Okay.
And the report really stresses that these AI4SI projects, they need to prioritize ethical considerations, fairness, transparency.
So it's not just about building a cool algorithm.
It's not just about the tech.
It's about the consequences.
It's about understanding the consequences.
And making sure.
That
the solutions are actually helpful.
They're actually beneficial and they're not like making existing inequalities worse.
And that's where you need a collaborative approach, right?
Absolutely. You need a collaborative approach, bringing AI experts, domain experts, policymakers, and like the communities themselves.
Everyone's at the table
working together.
On this.
Right, because the report really emphasizes the importance of this interdisciplinary collaboration when it comes to AI for social good. It's about understanding the problem you're trying to solve, and, often that requires insights from multiple fields.
Multiple perspectives,
exactly.
Yeah.
And that actually brings us back to the issue of sustainability. Which the report dedicates a whole chapter to.
We touched upon this earlier.
Yeah, we touched on it.
But the report really drives home this point.
It drives home the point that the energy consumption of AI, especially these large language models, is a growing concern. Yeah.
And it provides some pretty shocking statistics. Did you know that training GPT-3,
one of the largest language models out there,
consumed 12,287 megawatt hours of electricity?
12,287 megawatt hours.
That's more energy than many small towns use in an entire year.
That's more energy than many small towns use in a whole year.
That's mind-boggling.
It's mind-boggling how much energy it takes.
And the report makes it clear that this isn't just a problem with training.
It's not just about training.
It's about the ongoing energy demands.
Of
running these models in the real world.
Actually running these models.
And that could be even greater in the long run.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a paradox, right?
It is a paradox.
We're using AI to solve environmental problems.
To help us with sustainability.
But AI itself is becoming an environmental problem.
It's becoming a problem in itself.
Yeah.
But the report also highlights the potential for AI to be a really powerful tool for sustainability.
Okay.
So it's not all doom and gloom.
There's hope.
Okay. It can help us optimize energy grids, design more efficient transportation systems, monitor deforestation, even accelerate the discovery of new clean energy technologies.
There's a potential there.
There's a lot of potential there.
For AI to really contribute to a greener world.
But
we need to be mindful.
Of
the challenges.
Right. And actively work to mitigate those negative impacts.
Okay. And speaking of pushing boundaries.
Oh, yeah. This is where it gets really exciting.
AI's role in scientific discovery. This is where things really start to feel revolutionary.
This is where things get mind-blowing.
So what does the report have to say about that?
So the report actually argues that AI is revolutionizing scientific discovery. It's accelerating the entire research process.
Wow.
From like hypothesis generation to experimentation to verification.
So it's like giving scientists superpowers.
It's like giving scientists superpowers.
Enabling them to explore all these new frontiers of knowledge.
Exactly, and much faster than ever before.
Way faster.
Yeah, so AI can analyze these massive data sets. It can identify patterns that we humans might miss. It can even generate new hypotheses. It can help us understand complex systems, simulate experiments that would be too dangerous or expensive to conduct in the real world.
Okay.
And even design new materials and drugs.
So the possibilities are huge.
The possibilities are huge.
And they highlight AlphaFold 2.
AlphaFold 2.
Which solved the protein folding problem.
Which was a huge milestone in biology.
Huge milestone.
With like massive implications for drug discovery and disease research.
Okay.
So AlphaFold 2 is like a perfect example of how AI can make discoveries that we previously thought were like decades away.
Decades away.
Yeah, it's a testament to the power of AI to accelerate scientific progress.
It's mind-blowing to think about, like, the potential for AI to solve these big problems.
Yeah, like curing diseases.
Curing diseases.
Tackling climate change.
Tackling climate change. But it also raises this question.
Oh, the big question.
What happens when AI?
What happens when AI becomes so advanced?
It's so smart.
That it surpasses human intelligence.
Yeah.
The age-old question of artificial general intelligence, AGI.
AGI.
Right.
It's like the stuff of science fiction, but
it is the stuff of science fiction.
It's something the report takes seriously.
The report takes it very seriously.
So how does the report actually define AGI?
So they define AGI as machines with general purpose intelligence, capable of matching or exceeding human cognitive abilities across a wide range of domains.
So it's not just good at one task.
It's not just good at one specific task.
It can learn and adapt to any situation.
It can learn and adapt.
Like we do.
Like a human, yeah.
It does sound like something out of a movie.
It sounds like science fiction.
But the report argues...
The report argues that the pursuit of AGI has been like a core ambition of AI research since the very beginning.
Since the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it also acknowledges, you know, the ongoing debate.
About whether...
About whether it's even feasible.
Feasible.
Or desirable.
Okay. So some people think it's inevitable.
Some people think it's inevitable.
Others think it's kind of a dangerous path to go down.
They think it could be dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some people who believe that it's just a matter of time before we create these machines that are smarter than us. And then there are others who argue that true AGI might just be impossible. Or even undesirable.
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
That's hard to say.
It is. It's a complex issue.
Yeah.
No easy answers.
Yeah, I see both sides.
I see both sides too.
Like on the one hand...
On the one hand...
The potential benefits of AGI are huge.
Imagine AI solving all our problems.
Yeah, exactly. But on the other hand...
But on the other hand...
It is a little bit unnerving.
It is a little bit scary.
To think about creating something that's smarter than us.
That could potentially be uncontrollable.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where the report emphasizes the need.
The report emphasizes the need for responsible AI development.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to AGI.
So it's not just about...
It's not just about building the most powerful AI possible.
Building the most powerful thing we can.
It's about making sure it's aligned with human values.
Okay.
And that it's being used for good.
That it's actually beneficial.
It's actually beneficial.
Yeah.
Right. So the report argues that we need to be thinking about the ethical and societal implications of AGI.
Yeah.
Now, before it's too late...
Before it's too late, before we get there. Yeah, before we get there.
Right.
It's about shaping the future of AI in a way that benefits everybody.
That benefits all of humanity, not just a select few.
And with all this talk about...
It's easy to get swept up.
Super intelligent AI.
It's easy to get swept up in the hype.
It's easy to lose sight of reality.
Yeah, we need to stay grounded.
What does the report have to say about that?
So the report has an entire chapter dedicated to this whole issue of AI perception versus reality.
Okay.
They argue that, you know, public perception of AI's capabilities is often inflated. Fueled by hype and exaggerated claims.
Yeah, we see those headlines all the time.
All the time, like AI's taking over the world.
AI's going to take our jobs. AI's going to...
Right, but the truth is more nuanced.
Yeah.
Than that.
It's like that saying.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
AI is either...
Overhyped
or underestimated.
Or underestimated.
It's never quite where we think it is.
Right.
So what's the key takeaway there?
So the report emphasizes the importance of setting realistic expectations, distinguishing between what AI can actually do well today and what it might be capable of in the future, but also acknowledging that it's not like a magic solution.
It's not a magic bullet.
It's not a magic bullet for all our problems.
Yes.
It's a tool.
A very powerful tool.
It's a powerful tool.
But it's
not a magic wand.
Yeah.
Right.
And the report also advocates for
promoting diversity.
Diversity in research.
Yeah, and AI research approaches.
Okay, so what does that mean?
So it means exploring different paths.
Not just sticking with what's popular.
Not just sticking with what's currently popular.
Okay.
Because there's a risk of, like, getting stuck in a rut, you know?
Getting stuck.
If we just focus on one approach.
Just one approach.
So the report actually calls for continued research into non-neural approaches.
Okay, like symbolic AI.
Like symbolic AI.
Evolutionary computation.
Evolutionary computation.
Other paradigms that might be able to solve the problems.
That might be able to overcome some of the challenges that, like, deep learning struggles with.
Okay, so it's about keeping an open mind.
Keep an open mind.
Not putting all our eggs in one basket.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Explore different possibilities.
Explore all the possibilities.
Yeah.
And it's not just about...
It's not just about diversity within the AI research community. The report goes even further.
Okay.
It advocates for expanding AI research to include perspectives and expertise from outside the core AI community.
So bringing in people.
Bringing in people from other fields.
From other fields like social scientists.
Social scientists, ethicists, legal experts.
Even artists.
Even artists, yeah.
Okay.
Because, you know, they argue that this kind of interdisciplinary collaboration
is essential.
Is essential for ensuring responsible and ethical AI development.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that AI isn't just a technical problem.
It's a social problem.
It's a social problem with, like, far-reaching consequences.
So understanding the human impact.
Understanding the human impact, not just the technical capabilities.
Yeah.
And the report calls for developing, like, what they call intelligent support.
Wow.
And tools that can facilitate this kind of collaboration.
Between researchers from all these different fields.
Between AI researchers and experts from all these different backgrounds.
So it's about a much more inclusive, holistic approach to AI. A holistic approach to AI research.
Yeah, recognizing that it's a very complex.
Recognizing that it's very complex.
A multifaceted
field. And then finally, we can't talk about AI without acknowledging
the geopolitical side of things.
The geopolitical implications.
Yeah.
AI is becoming a major player on the world stage.
Oh, absolutely.
It's influencing power dynamics and it's shaping global strategies.
Yes, like AI is becoming this new kind of arms race.
It's an AI arms race.
Yeah.
With nations vying for dominance in this critical field. So what does the report say about that?
So the report highlights this competition and it notes the tensions between, you know, regulation, confidentiality, and the race for technological supremacy.
It's a complex landscape.
It's a very complex landscape with different countries taking different approaches.
And they mentioned the EU's AI Act.
Yeah, the EU's AI Act, which focuses on regulating AI based on, like, risk levels.
And China's
new generation artificial intelligence development plan.
Which aims to make China a global leader in AI.
A global leader by 2030.
Yeah, it's clear that this is becoming a very
important part.
Important part of national strategy.
Of national strategy.
So how do we navigate that?
So the report stresses the need for, like, international coordination and governance frameworks to address the ethical and social implications of AI. You know, to ensure fairness, justice, and democratic values.
So it's not just about competition.
It's not just about competition.
It's about cooperation.
It's about cooperation.
Finding ways
to ensure that AI
is used responsibly.
Is developed and used responsibly.
On a global scale.
On a global scale, that's right.
Wow, we've covered so much ground in this part of our deep dive.
So much ground.
From embodied AI.
Cognitive science.
Hardware.
The role of hardware.
The geopolitical implications.
It's
clear that AI is touching every aspect of our lives.
It's everywhere. It's touching everything.
And it's evolving so fast.
It's evolving at an incredible pace.
So the future of AI is full of possibilities. Both exciting and challenging. And it's really up to us.
It's up to all of us.
To stay informed. Engage in these conversations. And help shape the future.
Of AI.
Of AI in a positive way.
In a way that benefits all of humanity.
Welcome back, Weekend Hustlers. It's Pavlov.
And Nikita here for the final part.
of our deep dive.
Into the future of AI research.
We have covered a lot of ground.
Oh, we have. From AI that needs a body.
To the global race for AI dominance.
To AI that can write our term papers for us.
But let's zoom out and see what it all means.
What does that all mean?
What are the big takeaways here? What's the future of AI research itself?
So the report really makes a strong case for expanding our view of AI research.
Not just the tech stuff.
Not just the tech stuff, but bringing in like other perspectives.
Like we were talking about.
Yeah, like we were just talking about.
So it's not enough for AI researchers to just be talking to themselves.
No, they can't just stay in their little silos.
You need ethicists.
You need ethicists.
Social scientists.
Social scientists.
Even artists at the table.
Because AI isn't just code, right?
AI is going to reshape how we live, how we work, pretty much everything.
And the report really stresses that this broadened perspective has to involve the public too.
Yeah, we can't leave the public out of this conversation.
Less secrecy.
Less secrecy, more transparency.
More open conversations about what AI is, where it's going, how it's going to affect our lives.
Exactly, because it's about building trust in AI.
Building trust.
Yeah, and that means clear communication, addressing people's concerns, making sure that everybody feels like they're part of this conversation.
And not just building AI for people.
Exactly. It's not just about building AI for people.
Well, building it with them.
It's about building it with them.
Ensuring that everybody benefits.
That's the goal.
And that really ties into what they were saying about AI for social good.
Yeah, that section really stood out to me.
Right.
It emphasizes using AI to tackle poverty, inequality, climate change.
The big problems that we're facing.
The big issues that are affecting all of us.
Yeah, and we've seen some really interesting examples of that already.
We have. There's some amazing work being done.
But the report also cautions us.
It cautions us against thinking that technology alone is going to solve all our problems.
Right. It's not a magic billet.
It's a tool.
A very powerful tool.
A powerful tool, but it's up to us how we use it.
And that's why the report really stresses things like governance, regulation, ethical frameworks.
It can't just be a free-for-all.
We need some ground rules.
We need some ground rules. We need oversight. We need to be constantly reevaluating how we're using this technology to make sure it's serving humanity.
And not the other way around.
Weekend
Hustlers. This report has been a wild ride.
It's been quite a journey.
Full of mind-blowing potential.
Mind-blowing potential and some, sobering realities as well.
Some things to think about.
Some things to definitely think about.
But one thing's for sure.
AI is changing the world.
AI is changing the world, and it's happening fast.
And
whether that change is for the better depends on the choices we make now.
The choices we make right now are going to shape the future of AI.
So if you're feeling inspired,
if your curiosity is piqued,
to dive deeper,
check out the full report.
The full report is available online. It is definitely worth a read.
It's worth your time.
And of course, be sure to subscribe to Weekend Hustlers on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
All the places you get your podcasts.
So you don't miss any of our future deep dives.
We've got some exciting stuff coming up.
So
stay tuned.
Keep hustling, stay informed, and until next time, stay curious.